A loud, mocking voice rang out. Hey, mute. Are you picking me up, or what? What's there to eat? Qin stood silently, absorbing the barrage of complaints as Zeton continued. Quit standing around looking dumb. Why aren't you driving yet? You've been living off the Chu family for over a year and still no jobs. Zeton scowled as he added, when you pick me up, stay away from my school so my classmates don't see you. I don't know what my sister was thinking, giving me a brother-in-law like you. In another room, Qin overheard Lu Mingho, Qingyin's childhood friend, speaking to Haning Chu, his mother-in-law. It seems Alini was right. Ming Hao is unmatched in talent. If I hadn't gone abroad for higher studies, maybe I'd be in that mute's place. He smirked, wondering aloud, where's Qingyin anyway? Haning replied, she's still at the company. Her husband, doesn't he just stay home all day, incapable of speaking or holding a job? Lu Mingho remarked, laughing. I'd like to meet this mute son-in-law of hers. Haning sighed. That simple-minded Qin just returned with Zeton. I'm only waiting for Qingyin to divorce him. Moments later, Haning called out, Qin, come downstairs to greet the guests. You come home only to lock yourself up in your rooms. Zeton sneered from the hallway. Are you deaf now, too? Mother's calling you. Qin remained silent, opening his eyes slowly, feeling the weight of 10 years of silence. He inhaled, filling his lungs, and felt an unfamiliar sensation. It had been so long since he last spoke. Qin. Lu Mingho's mocking tone greeted him as he entered the room. You're the mute, aren't you? Relying on Qingyin's generosity since you don't work? You probably joined the Chu family for their wealth. Pausing, Lu Mingho smirked. How about I give you 100,000 to leave the family for good? How rude of me. Qin interrupted. My name is Qin. Lu Mingho stared in shock. You spoke? After all these years? So, you can talk. His voice turned bitter. Have you been lying to Qingyin this entire time, pretending to be mute? Just then, Haning rushed in, panic evident on her face. The police are coming for Qingyin. Lu Mingho's face fell. What's happened at her company? Haning replied. The patrols surrounded the building. They say they're arresting her for something that happened at work. Qin turned and left without another word. Lu Mingho, attempting to keep the situation in control, assured Haning, my family has some connections in Yangcheng. Let's go and assess the situation. At the offices of Skyhawk Corporation, an officer confronted Qingyin Chu. You've got two options. Face jail time or compensate us with $1 million in damages. Qingyin protested, $1 million? This is extortion. There's no proof my company is responsible. But Luan, cousin to Yangcheng's mayor, only sneered. The mayor's family doesn't let matters go that easily. Turning to Luan, Qin spoke up. Ms. Lu, all I need is 10 minutes. If I can treat the issue, would you be willing to drop this? Qin's sudden voice caught everyone off guard. You can speak now, someone blurted out. Another voice sneered. How dare you show your face here? Disgrace of the Chu family. Ignoring the criticism, Qin replied calmly, don't worry. I've changed. It's time I took on my responsibilities as a husband. The mocking continued. Talking won't change that you're still a loser. Showing off in front of Qingyin now. Who do you think you are? He's the son-in-law who married into the Chu family, right? Can't talk, can't work, and he thinks he can cure diseases? What a joke. Qin stepped forward. I can treat the pimples on your face. The doubtful reply came swiftly. Why should I believe you? If it doesn't work, I'll take full responsibility. Reluctantly, she agreed.
Fine.
But don't blame me if I don't go easy on you, if this fails. Qin asked calmly, could you bring me some Chinese herbs? The fever's causing these skin issues. There were skeptical murmurs, but the ingredients were handed over. As he worked, Luan muttered under her breath, if anything goes wrong, don't expect the Chu family to stand by you. Qin simply nodded. They won't need to help me, he thought, not anymore. When he finished, he applied the mixture to her face. She grimaced. This is disgusting. It's still warm. It will work, he reassured her confidently. To everyone's surprise, moments later, The irritated pimples began to heal. She touched her face, disbelief clear in her expression. It's a miracle. Others stared, murmuring, can he really cure illnesses? Qingyin, still wary, questioned him. How did you manage that? Just something I studied in school, he replied nonchalantly. Someone nearby eagerly asked, can you treat other conditions? I'd need to examine the patient first, he replied. My uncle's illness is very serious, Luan offered. If you can help him, I'll pay you 500,000 yuan. Qinli agreed without hesitation, but Qingyin objected. Are you crazy? This isn't the same as treating a pimples. He reassured her, I know what I'm doing. At Yangcheng Hospital, Luan's uncle, the mayor, lay in critical condition. The doctor, Dr. Mike, shook his head. The situation has worsened beyond what we expected. Operating now is too risky. Luan pleaded. This is the doctor I met earlier. He's amazing. Please, let him try to help. Suspicion filled the room. You're a doctor? Someone asked. Yes, Qinli confirmed. The mayor looked him over skeptically. Where's your license? I don't have one, Qinli admitted. The mayor bristled. Absolutely not. I won't let someone without a license treat my father. Just then, Dr. Mike emerged. I'm sorry. We did everything we could. Luan pleaded. Please, just let Qinli take a look. He might save him. Outraged voices protested, but Qinli interrupted firmly. There's still a chance to save him. Otherwise, it'll be too late. The mayor glared. A bet, then. Do you really dare to stake everything on this? Qinli took a deep breath, facing the skeptical crowd. If I save him, you'll owe me an apology. But if I fail, I'll go to jail for fraud. Who the hell are you? Get out of here. Someone shouted, and others quickly echoed the demand. Qinli gave a calm nod. Fine, I'll leave. But you'll regret it. As he began to step away, Qingyin tugged his arm. Enough. Stop embarrassing yourself and come home. But then, a commotion erupted near the patient's bed. The old man started twitching uncontrollably. What's happening? Someone cried. Panic ensued, and the doctor called for a defibrillator, but shook his head in resignation. I'm sorry, we've done all we can. The mayor cried out, overcome with grief. Just then, Qinli pushed his way forward. Move aside. I can save him. His words were met with silence, but Qinli's focus didn't waver. 10 years of training, he thought, it's time to put it to use. Drawing upon his long practice skills, he went to work, stabilizing the patient. Finally, the old man opened his eyes. Father. Luan cried, relief washing over her. I'm sorry I worried you, the old man whispered. Qinli's calm face turned to the mayor. We had a deal. His health will stabilize now. The mayor, visibly humbled, looked at him. Mr. Qin, I'm sorry. I misjudged you. Let me transfer the 500,000 yuan as promised. It's fine. I'll send my account details later. Back home, Luan's mother hugged her daughter, overjoyed. Were you scared? It's all over now. Later, Qingyin instructed Qinli to clean up the house. Afterward, she found him standing outside, looking uncertain. Zitan said you acted like a pervert. Qinli chuckled. She walked in on me by accident when I was changing. That's it. She sighed. I know Zitan's temperament. Just be careful in the future. Then, after a pause, she added, we have a family dinner tomorrow. You should come. All right. Qinli agreed with a smile. As he turned to leave, he added softly, thanks for everything today, Qingyin. The Chu family's first gathering of the year was in full swing, with relatives arriving and exchanging greetings. Qingyin arrived and settled into her seat, while her aunt, Chu Guiqin, who always seemed to be up to something, eyed her critically. When will you and your husband have children, Qingyin? Asked Guiqin, her tone half critical, half expectant. We're not ready yet, aunt. We're taking our time, Qingyin replied politely. Guiqin smirked. Well, it's best to start while you're young. My Chungwen, at least, is a comfort to me. Unlike others who depend on their wives to get by. Chungwen, her son-in-law, chimed in with a grin. Thank you, mother-in-law. You honor me. He cast a smug glance toward Qin Li, who sat quietly at the end of the table. To impress the family, Chungwen presented a lavish gift to the family elder, a blue and white porcelain bowl he claimed was from the Yuan dynasty, costing him $30,000. "Uncle, I hope you enjoy it," he said, his pride unmistakable. While the family admired the bowl, Qin Li noticed something unsettling. The energy around it felt wrong. Quietly, he muttered to himself, realizing the bowl had absorbed negative energy from being buried in a tomb. It was cursed. Seeing Qin Li had no gift, Chungwen sneered. "It must be tough to live off your wife, Qin Li. I hear the sanitation department needs help. It doesn't pay much, but at least you'd be earning something." Qingyin tried to defend her husband, but the jabs continued. Fed up, Qin Li spoke up, shocking everyone. "This bowl is cursed. It's not what it seems, no matter the price you paid." Chungwen scoffed. "You're just jealous because you couldn't afford anything like it." Just then, Mayor Lu, whom Qin Li had assisted recently, entered the room and greeted him with respect. The family's laughter quickly faded as the mayor turned to Qin Li, thanking him for his help. Seeing this, Chungwen's confidence wavered, but he attempted to salvage his reputation by defending the bowl. The mayor then asked an antiques expert present to evaluate it, who confirmed Qin Li's suspicion. It was indeed a sophisticated, cursed fake. Humiliated, Chungwen stammered, "I didn't know. It was supposed to be genuine." Ignoring him, Mayor Lu asked Qin Li if he could come to his home to discuss a strange illness that had affected his family. Qin Li agreed, promising to address the issue. As Qin Li prepared to leave, a family member muttered, "Looks like you're making us proud, Qin Li." Qingyin glanced after him, admiration softening her expression. After leaving the gathering, Qin Li followed directions to Mayor Lu's house, only to be met by a figure from his past. "So we meet again, Qin Li," the figure sneered. "Tonight, I'll send you straight to hell. If you cut off both your hands today, I'll let you go," the stranger sneered, confronting Qin Li in the dark. "Oh, it's you, Lan Mingho," Qin Li muttered, recognizing his adversary. Calmly, he added, "You don't need to do anything. I'll handle the rest myself." Lan's confidence wavered as he noted the strength in Qin Li's stance. What's happening here? Isn't he supposed to be weak? The confrontation shifted, but Qin Li paid no further attention to them as he reached his destination, Mayor Lu's home. He rang the doorbell, and the mayor greeted him warmly. "Mr. Qin, I've been waiting a long time. Please come in. Xiao Jie's room is just down the hall." Upon entering, Qin Li immediately sensed the dark energy around Lu's young son. The boy hovered slightly above his bed, as though a malevolent force held him. "Mr. Qin, please save my son," Lu pleaded desperately. Qin Li began his work, pushing out the dark presence from the boy's body. "It's not done yet. The source of this evil is still around. I need to find and eliminate it completely." As he worked, Lu's wife grew distraught. "If anything happens to Xiao Jie, Lu Zheng, I'll never forgive you," she shouted. Qin Li assured them. "He's stable now, but we need to locate the root of this evil. Have you received any unusual items recently? Or has anything unsettling happened?" Lu Zheng thought hard. "Nothing unpleasant, but we did receive a pair of stone lions. There by the entrance." Qin Li followed him to the statues, realizing the lions were the origin of the curse. "This stone carries an intense evil aura," he explained. "Everyone in the house has been exposed to it, becoming weaker and irritable over time. I'll take care of it." With decisive action, Qin Li neutralized the curse. Mayor Lu expressed deep gratitude, apologizing for any past doubts. "Thank you for saving my son, Mr. Qin," he said earnestly. "You've done more than I could ever repay. In fact, I'd like to help set up a clinic for you." Qin Li was taken aback. "A medical clinic?" he asked. "Yes, it's the least I can do. With your skills, you could help so many others," Mayor Lu replied. Qin Li agreed thoughtfully, imagining his parents would be proud of his work. After arranging for Qin Li's ride home, Mayor Lu made good on his promise, setting plans for the clinic. As the driver approached Qin Li's home, he noticed Chu Qingyin standing nearby, looking as though she had been waiting. Quite a fine young lady, isn't she? The driver remarked. Qinli was surprised to see her, but he wondered, was I really overreacting, thinking she had replaced me? Yet as he drew closer, a new uncertainty surfaced. As Qinli approached, the older man laughed and complimented him. You've got a good eye, young man. But it's not what you think. The man called out to the servant. Xiaowei, bring out a good bottle of wine. Turning to his companion, he said, My little girl, I've missed you. I thought you'd forgotten all about me. She sighed. I've just been so busy, there's been a lot going on at work. He dismissed her concerns with a wave. Work will always be there, baby. Tonight, let's just relax and have fun. Let's drink to that. They clinked their glasses and she confided, if I weren't trying so hard to avoid this arranged marriage, I wouldn't be under all this pressure. Her father comforted her. Don't worry, my dear. He handed her another drink. As they drank, she struggled with her frustrations, muttering about a certain piece of trash she wished she could be rid of. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door. Startled, they looked toward the entrance as Qinli stepped into the room. The father's face turned pale. Qinli, how did you get here? Qinli stood firm. Don't get the wrong idea, he said coldly. I was here to check on Chu Qingyin. She was drunk and I needed to make sure she was safe. Now, tell me, how do you want this to end? The older man trembled, pleading, Forgive me just this once. I swear you'll never see me again. Qinli's expression softened only slightly. Then leave now, and don't ever come back. Relieved, the man scrambled to leave, repeatedly thanking Qinli, who simply watched him go with a hard expression. After a pause, Qinli muttered, I let you go twice, yet you never changed. Don't blame me for your own choices. Chu Qingyin awoke just then, groggy and disoriented. She looked at Qinli, a mix of gratitude and irritation. You saved me? Qinli nodded, only to be met with a slap as she said, You bastard. What were you even doing here? He sighed, explaining calmly, I was keeping you safe, believe it or not. I did nothing wrong. Just then, Qinli's phone rang. It was Sister Luan. Mr. Qin? She greeted. I hope I didn't wake you. Do you have more of that ointment? I'd like to buy another batch, maybe with a skin brightening effect added if possible.
Certainly.
How many would you like? Qinli replied, thinking about the work involved. Let's start with 200 bottles. I'll deposit 2 million into your account for the initial order, she said. Qinli hesitated. My medicine doesn't cost nearly that much. I heard from my cousin you're planning to open a clinic, Luan insisted. Consider this my way of helping you get started. Thank you so much, Sister Luan, Qinli said with genuine gratitude. Returning home, Qinli noticed Chu Qingyin waiting anxiously by the door. What took you so long? She asked, catching herself. Forget it, I didn't mean to ask. He replied, I had some things to take care of. She hesitated, looking down. I'm sorry for misunderstanding you today. He glanced at her, sensing her hesitation. What's going on? Chu Qingyin sighed. I think I might be getting fired from my job. Chu Qingyin confided in Qinli about the constant comments her colleagues made to their managers regarding her association with Luan. The management has spoken to me several times now. They're pushing me to resign. Qinli reassured her, even if you do resign, you'll be okay. Okay, she replied, concerned. If I lose this job, who'll support the family? Besides, finding new work won't be easy these days. After a pause, Qinli reminded her, remember when I was at the hospital, helping Mayor Lu's father? Since then, I've helped his family, and he's offered me a clinic. I've also saved up some money from helping people, so if you're willing, you could help me run the clinic. Chu Qingyin felt comforted, though uncertain. A medical clinic? He's trying to make me feel better. Qinli said, think it over and let me know when you're ready. Reflecting on his support, Chu Qingyin whispered, Thank you, Qinli. I've misunderstood you so many times. I owe you an apology. Just then, Tanzijin, Chu Qingyin's college friend, burst in. What are you waiting for, Qinli? Let me in. She threw a sharp glance at him. I still don't know why Chu Qingyin married you, she muttered. A flower in the dirt. Honestly. Zijin whisked Chu Qingyin away to a high-class auction, only for the rich and famous. The atmosphere was electric, and soon an exquisite lapis lazuli stone went up for auction. "Qinli, buy this for Chu Qingyin," Zijin taunted. "If she likes it, I'll get it for her," Qinli replied calmly. As bidding heated up, Qinli ventured outside, looking at smaller, discarded stones. "These are just remnants," he murmured, paying a modest amount for one. Moments later, his stone was split open, revealing high-quality jade inside. The crowd gasped, including Zijin, who had dismissed the stone as junk. Tan Lao, the city's famed king of jade and Zijin's father, was impressed. "Young man," he offered, 5 million for that jade." Qin Li declined. "I bought it for my wife. Ask her." Tan Lao appreciated his sentiment, remarking, "Good jade belongs with those who understand its value." Zijin was stunned, never having seen her father spend so freely.
"Wow, Dad.
You really see something special here." Later, Tan Lao extended an offer to Qinli. "If you're interested in jade, consider working at Tan Ki Jewelry. We need experts like you." Qinli nodded politely. "Thank you, I'll think about it." As they left, Zijin looked at Qinli with newfound curiosity. "Have you been hiding this all along?" she asked, frustrated. "Pretending you're something you're not?" After they parted ways, Chu Qingyin was left feeling conflicted. "This idiot," she sighed. "He doesn't even realize that all I want is a little love and attention." An elder passed a book to Qinli, saying, "Kid, if you practice using this, you'll make a name for yourself in 10 years. But you'll need to block your GI and build up inner energy. This is your path. The rest is up to you. We'll meet again someday." Reflecting on his marriage, Qinli asked, "Why did you agree to marry me in the first place? Don't you remember what happened?" Chu Qingyin smiled. "When you proposed after graduation, I was genuinely happy, even knowing I'd just be a shield for you. You've never resented me?" "Never. The Chu family has only shown me kindness, and I've always thought of you as my wife," Qinli replied, surprising Chu Qingyin. Changing the subject, Qinli announced, "I'm opening my clinic tomorrow. You should come by." "What? I thought you were joking," Chu Qingyin exclaimed, concerned. "Saving lives isn't as easy as it sounds. I'll just be treating common illnesses." "Don't worry," Qinli reassured her, though she still fretted, feeling her concern went unnoticed. News of the clinic spread, and family friends joked about Qinli's sudden leap into medicine. "I heard he helped Mayor Lu's family, and the mayor insisted on helping him open the clinic," one said over tea. Not everyone was supportive. A local rival scoffed, "Think you'll be fine just because you know Mayor Lu? You're crazy to open a clinic." On the clinic's opening day, guests arrived to congratulate him, including Mayor Lu and Sister Wan. Their presence left others wondering about the connection between Qin Li and the mayor. "Your clinic looks fantastic," Mayor Lu praised. Moments later, a woman burst into the clinic, pleading, "Please help my sons." Qin Li rushed to examine the boy, while others whispered doubts. "This isn't something he can handle. We might see him shut down soon." But Qin Li calmly assessed the boy, concluding, "Your son is poisoned. What did you feed him?" The distraught father protested, "That's impossible. The neighbors always take good care of him." Qin Li, however, was stern. "Relying on neighbors to care for your child doesn't make you a responsible father." With sadness in his voice, the father explained, "My wife died young. I have to work to support my son's education." Qin Li examined the boy, noticing his darkened face and labored breathing, signs that suggested poisoning. Skeptical onlookers began murmuring, "I heard this doctor just got his license a few days ago, and he thinks he can treat people." Angry, some demanded, "Close the clinic. Take the boy to the hospital." Ignoring them, Qin Li instructed the father to step aside and carefully began treating the boy. After a tense few moments, the boy stirred, then opened his eyes, mumbling, "Dad, I'm hungry. Can I have roasted pork?" Relieved, the father sobbed, Yes, let's get some right away." The crowd, now astonished, marveled at Qin Li's skill. He saved that boy's life. I thought he was just a rookie, someone muttered, while a bitter rival quietly fumed. I even put pesticides in that boy's drink. This reputation he's gaining won't last. Late into the night, Qinli locked the clinic door, exhausted but satisfied. Just then, he noticed a shadowy figure. "Are you here for treatment?" he asked, weary yet ready to help. Realizing he'd be working overnight, he called Xu Qingyin. "I've got a tough patient tonight," he explained. "I won't make it home." Her reply stung with frustration. "Then maybe you should just live at the clinic." As he sighed, vowing to make it up to her, he spotted something odd. A mark reading MI-19 and 19th Division. Within MI-19, they had specialists for every task: information theft, weapon handling, tech security, and even those who could sway public opinion. But the 19th Division held a special place, with a unique purpose and mission. Today, they would face their greatest threat: total elimination. One of the agents, barely conscious, realized he was alive. "I'm not dead," he murmured, meeting Qinli's gaze, who confirmed, "I got here just in time." 2 more minutes, and it would have been too late. The agent looked lost. "I don't have a home, don't even know where to go." Qinli, sensing an opportunity, offered, "Stay here. I need an assistant, and I can pay you a monthly salary." "It's not much, 5,000. The agent, grateful and with a new purpose, replied, "My life is yours now. I'll do whatever you need." Just as they were settling in, Zijian burst through the door. "Qinli, I need you to represent Tan Qi Jewelry in the jade contest." Despite Qinli's confusion, Zijian was insistent, whisking him away to meet Mr. Tan. Arriving at the Tan Qi estate, Mr. Tan greeted Qinli warmly. "I'm thrilled you agreed, Mr. Qin. We need your expertise in stone gambling for this competition." He explained that the contest was divided into gambling and carving stages, and he was counting on Qinli to lead his team of selected members, including Zhao Lin and Lao Su. Mr. Tan's son chimed in, "If you get us into the top 3, you'll be paid well." Tan himself offered an extra 10% of Tan Qi's shares if they won. And as Xu Qingyin's best friend, Zijian added slyly, "You know how much I'd appreciate your help." Reluctantly, Qinli agreed. At the plaza, surrounded by gleaming jade stones, a vendor chuckled as Qinli eyed a particular stone. "Young man, sure you want that one?" With a nod, Qinli decided to take his chances. The vendor, amused, tossed him the remaining amount owed, just $1,000. "Not millions," he sneered. Qinli, unfazed, accepted the funds, prepared to prove his worth in the upcoming jade contest. The jade contest was underway, and the stakes were high. As Qinli's team selected their stones, the excitement in the air was palpable. "This stone is worth nearly $5 million, the vendor exclaimed, handing over a solid gold card as payment. Noticing Qinli's purchase, some spectators laughed, doubting he'd make it far. "What stone did Qin buy?" "Don't tell me, it's just a pebble," they joked. Despite the taunts, Qinli remained calm. "I'm not sure how this stone will fare," he admitted, "but I wouldn't be here if it weren't for Mr. Tan." Soon, familiar faces from the competition taunted Mr. Tan, questioning why he even bothered entering. They dismissed him, claiming, "There's no place for you in Jiangcheng." But Tan's team remained confident, with Qinli reassuring him, "Don't worry. We'll show them what we can do." The contest host, Xin Ran, announced the beginning of the stone gambling portion. As participants gathered on stage, the first contestant cut open a beautiful piece of jade, sending the crowd into a bidding frenzy. Prices soared, with some pieces reaching up to $63 million. Then came Mr. Tan's turn. His team's 2 expensive stones were finally cut open, only to reveal worthless material. Shocked and humiliated, the crowd ridiculed them, calling their choices trash. As disappointment filled the air, someone reminded Qinli of a single remaining stone. "Don't embarrass yourself," they warned, but he continued anyway. To everyone's surprise, Qinli's modest $20,000 stone revealed an incredible imperial green jade within. The crowd gasped in awe, stunned that such an unassuming stone held such treasure. The value of the stone soared as it revealed yet another layer, a rare, blood-red jade embedded within the green. Spectators were speechless, recognizing the rare find. Blood jade had recently sold for $1 billion. The contest had taken an unexpected turn, and Mr. Tan's luck was finally on his side. The crowd gasped as Qin Li revealed an exceptionally rare blood jade, a stone that takes thousands of years to form. Offers surged, 90 million, 100 million, and finally $120 million. Then, an elderly bidder, coughing weakly, shocked everyone with his offer. $2 billion.
Sold.
The competition host declared, awarding the victory to Tan Ki Jewelry. Qin Li's discovery of the legendary blood jade had solidified their win, a record-breaking sale that would be remembered for years. Mr. Tan approached Qin Li afterward, overwhelmed with gratitude. "If it weren't for you, Tan Ki Jewelry's reputation would be lost," he said, apologizing for his earlier doubts. He even offered Qin Li the full proceeds from the jade sale. Qin Li, touched by Tan's words, humbly accepted, and Tan assured him, "You are our family's honored guest now." Later, Qin Li was invited by Jiang Jun from the contest organizers to visit the prestigious Jiang family residence. Arriving at the grand house, he met the family patriarch, Jiang Zhong, who was captivated by Qin Li's expertise. Curious, Jiang Zhong asked, "Did you know there was blood jade hidden inside the jade when you continued cutting?" Qin Li explained that he'd sensed an unusual warmth from the stone, which prompted him to investigate further. Impressed, Jiang Zhong revealed his own fragile health, hoping Qin Li could help. Qin examined Jiang Zhong and quickly diagnosed a serious condition that needed immediate attention. Surprised, Jiang Jun hadn't realized Qin Li was also a skilled doctor. When Qin suggested taking his pulse, the family hesitated but allowed it, given their trust in him. Qin performed a temporary healing technique, noting that they'd need to investigate the cause of Jiang Zhong's declining health. Qin's insight led them to a jade pillow Jiang Zhong had recently acquired. He explained that long-term contact with this artifact, likely from an ancient tomb, could be draining Jiang Zhong's health. Realizing the danger, the family was grateful, offering Qin any favor in return. Qin humbly accepted their thanks and agreed to search for another blood jade for the family, with only one request of his own. Qin Li expressed his gratitude to the Jiang family, who assured him they would do whatever they could to help. Qin revealed a personal request. He hoped they could find information about his missing parents, who had vanished 10 years ago. Mr. Jiang promised to do his best. Qin then assured them he'd continue searching for the blood jade and would deliver it once he found it. Mr. Jiang even handed Qin a card with $200 million as an advance, expressing his deep appreciation. The next day, Qin returned to his clinic, noticing it was in need of attention. Patients had already started arriving, one complaining of headaches. He invited them in, eager to help. Meanwhile, a notable figure in the field, Mr. Tang Bohuai, the founder of the esteemed Tang family traditional medicine, was set to visit the clinic that day. Rumors spread quickly among the patients about Tang's reputation and Qin's capabilities, with some claiming Qin sold ineffective medicine. Facing slander, Qin challenged these accusations, shutting down one vocal critic. Soon, Tang arrived with his apprentices, questioning the qualifications of younger practitioners like Qin. Tang attempted to treat a complex case, but his approach raised concern. Qin warned that Tang's method, using a hot needle technique, could put the patient's life at risk if not done correctly. Tang dismissed Qin's advice, confident in his decades of experience. Qin, however, recognized the patient's condition as a unique strain of viral herpes that required a careful approach to prevent severe complications. When Tang's treatment backfired, causing the patient's energy to weaken, Qin stepped in to assess the damage. Realizing that Tang's method had further compromised the patient's health, Qin took a decisive, careful approach to stabilize him. Frustrated, Tang challenged Qin to a duel in traditional Chinese medicine. Whoever made the first mistake would have to leave the field forever. Qin accepted, determined to prove his skill and dedication to healing. The crowd gathered near Qin Li's clinic, curious about the spectacle of the medical competition between him and Yangqing's famed Dr. Tang Bohuai. Observers buzzed with excitement, remarking on Qin's skill. Patients praised how much better they felt after his treatments, impressed by his ability to diagnose accurately without a single mistake throughout the day. One patient approached Qin, complaining of dizziness and chest discomfort. Examining her, he found her pulse strong and steady, suggesting something unusual. Suddenly, she collapsed, prompting onlookers to call for urgent care. As they carried her out, frustrated voices in the crowd grumbled about Dr. Tang's unreliability, some wishing they had gone straight to Qin's clinic. Meanwhile, Tang saw his chance for a final challenge. He claimed that if Qin failed to treat this case, the competition would end in a draw. Qin, however, carefully assessed the patient, knowing that a single misstep could lead to severe consequences. To everyone's surprise, the woman then revealed she wasn't ill at all. She'd been sent by Dr. Tang to feign illness. With this revelation, Tang had lost the match. As Tang stormed away, muttering threats, Qin's assistant offered to handle Tang, but Qin advised against it, thanking him and suggesting he focus on his recovery. After their conversation, Qin received a call from an associate of Mr. Jiang, who informed him that the raw stones he'd been tracking would arrive in a week. The caller also hinted at a lucrative proposal, and they arranged to meet. The next day, news of the competition dominated the airwaves. Tang Bohui had announced his resignation from medicine, leaving the Tang family mired in criticism. In his frustration, Tang was approached by a mysterious figure who offered him a chance to get revenge on Qin Li. The figure handed him a prescription, promising it was a weapon only Tang could wield. Qin Li asked Liang Qing if she'd like to join him for a walk, mentioning that it might help her recovery. He also hoped she'd be able to finish the small task he'd given her. Liang Qing assured him that her health was fine and promised she'd complete it without issue, though Qin chuckled, reminding her it was just about purchasing an apartment, so there was no need to be so serious. Curious about her background, Qin asked Liang how old she was when she began her training and if she remembered her parents. She revealed that she'd started at a training camp when she was only 3 and had no memory of her parents. Qin realized the hardship she must have endured to enter the army at such a young age. As they continued their conversation, he gently instructed her not to sleep on the floor anymore, and she agreed with a shy smile. While out, Liang noticed Qin looking at a dagger. The seller offered it to Qin for $500, claiming he'd stumbled upon it by chance. Qin bought it, and when Liang asked if it was valuable, he handed it to her, saying it was hers now. Surprised, Liang thanked him sincerely. Later, Qin received an urgent call from Qingyin, who informed him that Zieten had been captured and that he should find a house on his own, giving him a card password. Concerned, Qin asked Qingyin to share more details. Meanwhile, at a suburban racing circuit, Fang Xiao, Zieten's ex-boyfriend, taunted her, demanding not only her obedience, but also her family's property. Zieten resisted, calling him shameless. Just then, Qin arrived, ready to pay the ransom, but Fang mocked him, belittling his chances of rescuing Zieten on his own. Fang ordered Qin to drop the money and leave, even making vile threats about Zieten's fate. Fury surged through Qin, and he charged forward, defeating Fang's men with surprising strength and speed. Fang's followers watched in disbelief, shocked at the power of the useless brother-in-law they once scorned. Qin Li's recent show of strength left everyone astonished. When did he become so powerful? They wondered as he urged Zieten to hurry home so her family wouldn't worry. Just then, Zieten shyly invited him to an upcoming sorority event at her school, claiming it was just for safety since she feared retaliation from their enemies. Qin found it amusing that she was inviting him to a school gathering and agreed to join her. The next day, Liang informed Qin that she had completed the task he'd assigned. She directed him to the Tianhao office to check on it, and Qin decided it was time to secure a home for Qingyin, thinking that staying with her family wasn't ideal in the long term. Later, Qin received a call from Jiang Jun, who excitedly shared that he'd purchased 10 stores in Jiangcheng, registered in Qin's name, to use as traditional Chinese medicine centers. Jiang added that Qin had greatly benefited the Jiang family, so this was his way of showing gratitude. Qin expressed his thanks, but declined Jiang's offer of buying him a villa, mentioning he already had one. When Qin and Liang arrived at the Tianhao property office to check on the villa purchase, the receptionist was taken aback, doubting that Qin could afford the prestigious Sky One villa. She informed him that someone else was willing to pay extra to buy the villa and that his deposit would be refunded. Offended, Qin reminded her that he'd paid in advance and demanded to know why they would resell his property. As the situation heated up, Jiang Chuxue, the director of Tianhao Villas and half-sister to Jiang Jun, appeared. She recognized Qin as a distinguished guest of Tianhao, and upon hearing of the misunderstanding, she promptly reprimanded the receptionist. Jiang assured Qin that she would personally oversee the final arrangements and apologized on behalf of her team, promising the villa would not be offered to anyone else again. Qin accepted her apology, but warned against future incidents. Meanwhile, chaos erupted at a nearby clinic, with a crowd accusing the doctor of selling fake medicine that caused harm. Qin entered, only to find the crowd pointing fingers at a discredited doctor and calling for his arrest. The confrontation at the clinic intensified as someone in the crowd accused the doctor of selling fake skincare products. The person shouted, "You're finally here, the fake medicine sellers?" Qin was taken aback, confused by the accusation of selling fake products. One woman claimed that the skincare products he provided had ruined her skin. "I gave 200 of them to Sister Lu Wan," Qin realized, wondering if there could be a misunderstanding. The crowd, quick to anger, demanded his arrest, branding him a swindler. A police officer arrived and asked Qin to cooperate. Qin, calmly raising his hands, explained that he was looking for a witness to clarify the truth. Just then, another woman stepped forward, testifying that she herself had used Qin's skincare products without issue and was willing to vouch for him as a lawyer, swearing the truth of her statements. Realizing he was in the clear, Qin confronted the accusers, demanding an explanation. One person nervously admitted that a man named Tang had paid them $100,000 to accuse Qin's clinic. Qin recognized the mastermind behind the setup and decided to confront Tang. Meanwhile, at another location, Tang was gloating over his scheme with a chess partner. As they discussed how their plan to frame Qin had worked, a doorbell interrupted them. Tang went to answer, only to find Qin at his doorstep. Startled, Tang stammered, "Weren't you arrested?" With a swift move, Qin grabbed him and exposed Tang as the one behind the scheme. Tang, visibly shaken, realized Qin was in control. Qin warned Tang to cease his schemes against him and assured him that there would be no more trouble in the future. Later, Qin met Jiang Chuxue at her office, where she warmly invited him to sit and offered him a special French black tea. She handed over the completed paperwork for the villa, which required only his signature and final payment to be finalized. Grateful, Qin thanked her for her help. As they spoke, Jiang Chuxue introduced Jiang Zhe, the general manager of Jiang Group's Yangqing branch, who had come to discuss a potential partnership with Qin. Jiang Zhe introduced himself to Qin, explaining that he was a subordinate of Jiang Jun, like Miss Jiang, and had recently been transferred to Yangqing to manage Jiang Group's entertainment division. With a respectful tone, he asked Qin to look out for them in future endeavors. Curious, Qin inquired about the nature of the proposed collaboration. Jiang Zhe explained that he'd heard Qin had created an ointment with impressive healing properties, which had cured Lu Zheng's cousin. Jiang Group wanted to partner with Qin to develop and market this ointment, believing they could leverage their extensive brand network across Jiang province to make it a success. Jiang Zhe even offered Qin a major stake, proposing that Qin would hold 80% of the shares, while the Jiang family would retain 20%. Qin weighed the offer, recognizing Jiang Group's influence across the province and how this foundation could amplify the ointment's reach. Seeing Qin hesitate, Jiang Chuxue offered an additional incentive, the largest casino in Yangqing, as a gesture to apologize for the misunderstanding of the previous day. Qin expressed gratitude but politely declined, feeling that their quick resolution was already sufficient. However, when Jiang Chuxue insisted, Qin reluctantly accepted a gold card granting him lifetime access to Jiang's entertainment clubs. When Jiang Zhe asked for Qin's response on the collaboration, Qin suggested a fairer arrangement. They'd each hold 50% of the shares, and his wife could be a co-shareholder. Jiang Zhe happily agreed, promising to send a contract the next day. As they wrapped up their meeting, Jiang Chuxue mentioned that a supplier of raw stones would be staying at the Tianhao Hotel that evening, an invitation Qin decided to consider. Meanwhile, Qin visited a warehouse, reflecting on the rarity of blood jade and his past experiences with the gem. Eager to test his skills again, he set to work, trying to locate the precious stone in a pile of rough stones. Back home, Qin was surprised to find his family, his uncle, aunt, and cousins eaten, awake and tense. His aunt angrily confronted him, accusing him of neglecting his family for someone at the clinic, whom she called a little vixen. Qin, bewildered by the accusation, found himself facing serious allegations about his loyalty to the family, with his aunt declaring that if he intended to betray her daughter, he should leave the Chu family to avoid tarnishing their reputation. Qin was confronted with a set of photos, and when asked about them, he initially deflected the question. He was urged to explain who the woman in the pictures was. Qin finally revealed that the woman in question was Liang Qing, a girl he had rescued after she had been injured and homeless. After he took her in, she voluntarily began working at his clinic. Qin called her, and after a brief conversation, he explained to his questioners that Liang Qing had been trained by a special organization since childhood and had no family. They questioned why he hadn't shared this information earlier, and Qin reassured them it was of no importance. After the discussion, Qin and his family moved upstairs, and he quickly reminded them to keep things discreet from Jin Li. He also mentioned that the Jiang Group had established a business partnership with them and would be coming over the next day to sign a contract. His family was shocked at the development, with his aunt noting that the Jiang Group was one of the most influential business families in Jiang Province. The next day, Qin's wife, Miss Chu, was asked to sign the contract, officially becoming the CEO of the new company. She graciously accepted but also acknowledged that she would likely need Jiang Group's help in the future, given her lack of experience in the business world. Meanwhile, Qin thought about his recent visit to Jiangcheng and the deal with the Jiang Group. It was revealed that he had sold a rare piece of blood jade for hundreds of millions of dollars, and Jiang Jun, from the Jiang family, had requested that Qin find another piece. At the airport, Qin met Jiang Jun, who was personally there to collect the newly found blood jade. Jiang Jun expressed admiration for how quickly Qin had managed to locate the rare stone, despite its difficulty. The conversation turned to Jiang Jun's father, Uncle Jiang, who was also deeply impressed by Qin's achievement. The jade, a 7-colored stone worth billions, was particularly valuable and had not been seen in decades. Qin received high praise for acquiring such a rare piece for the Jiang family. Afterward, Qin briefly mentioned some information he had gathered regarding the whereabouts of Uncle Jiang's parents. The data was somewhat vague and unreliable, but it hinted that the parents had been spotted in Camigio 2 years ago. This revelation piqued the interest of the Jiang family, although they remained cautious about the accuracy of the information. Qin received some critical information, but he had not yet confirmed its validity. He promised to update the concerned parties as soon as he had more details. Meanwhile, he was taken to the Quanji Hotel, a well-known establishment owned by Jiang Jun's sister. She offered to show him some of the hotel's signature dishes, though Jiang Jun had failed to show up for their planned shopping trip, much to the sisters' dismay. During their time at the hotel, Jiang Jun introduced Qin Li to his sister, Jiang Ran, a successful young entrepreneur who had founded a catering company that dominated Jiangqing's market. Qin Li recognized her name from a journal article and politely introduced himself. The situation quickly shifted when a hotel staff member reported a crisis. A person was about to jump off the building, and the head of security had gone up to the roof. Jiang Ran immediately took action, instructing her team to prevent the tragedy. Qin Li, ever attentive, offered his assistance. As they arrived at the scene, they saw the woman poised to jump. Qin Li instinctively intervened, feeling something was amiss with the situation. He successfully stopped the woman from harming herself, but Jiang Ran, shaken, realized that something darker was at play. Qin Li hinted that the building might be under a metaphysical influence, possibly even cursed. Jiang Ran dismissed his claim, skeptical of the idea, but Qin Li remained firm in his observation. The woman who had attempted suicide passed out from the shock, and an ambulance was called. Afterward, Jiang Ran expressed her gratitude, acknowledging that without Qin Li's quick thinking, the situation could have ended tragically. Qin Li reassured her that no thanks were needed, as he had already received plenty of help from the Jiang family in the past. Shortly after, Jiang Ran's father, Master Jiang, arrived at the hotel, concerned about the recent troubling incidents. He brought along a metaphysical expert, Master Cheng, to assess the situation. After an inspection, Master Cheng revealed that the formation causing the disturbances was not something that could be easily broken. He mentioned that only 2 experts in the Jiangcheng province could handle such an issue. Master Jiang assured them that he would cover the costs of any necessary actions as part of the family's gratitude. The tension was further heightened when they discovered a jade gourd placed in a mysterious spot within the hotel, suggesting that someone had orchestrated these events deliberately.